should I get an investor? So I have a product. How should I get an investor? Some
Yeah.
people they have an idea and they want to pitch agad to investors. I don't think that will work. Not right away. My answer that is not right away. Get traction first.
Sure.
So once you have your first 100, 500 users, 1,000, then you already have a value.
This episode is brought to you by Accounting Starter Digital Course for Small Businesses. It's a 7-module self-paced course that teaches you the basics of accounting. And it comes with a free access to our accounting and payroll software. Check it out at accountingcourseph.com. Hey everyone, welcome to our new episode of our podcast. Today we are going to be discussing how to launch your very own tech startup and how to develop your own software product. Without further ado, let's get started.
Welcome to the Digital Transformation Academy. My name is Dennis Hilario and I'm here to help you in your digital transformation journey. Let the show begin. Hey, good morning. Hey there. So, welcome to the Digital Transformation Academy podcast. Today is another episode. My name is Dennis Hilario and I give you my best thoughts and tips about digital transformation, productivity, and innovation. So, with me is Fiona. Fiona, how are
Hey
you?
guys. Hello, I'm doing well. It's my finals week. So I'm
Really?
just waiting for my break. Yeah.
When is your break?
My break is December 17. It's actually a month long. So
Wow.
that's exciting.
Really?
Just
So what's
waiting
your
for
plan this Christmas break and
no plans
vacation?
yet. Just want rest already from school. But yeah.
But remember, we do have some family reunion
Yeah,
this
we
month.
do. We do. Next week.
Yeah. And what are your thoughts about the new Omicron variant?
My
Uh,
thoughts are that the variants won't stop coming. We gotta keep living our life,
uh-huh.
but still being safe. But I'm glad that there's like lower cases now of COVID.
Right.
I just saw that Makati Med reported no cases anymore, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. But
So yeah,
do you guys have like a plan already when to resume face to face?
for face to face, no announcement yet from my university, but I know a lot of schools are already doing like trial runs for face
Right.
to face. But yeah,
Yeah, and hopefully the Omicron variant will not spread here in the
yeah, for
country,
sure.
so we can continue to get back to our feet.
Yes,
Ayun.
that's right.
So, yeah, let's dive right to the main topic, no. But before that, I think we have discussed in our previous episodes the stages of digital transformation. If you
Yeah.
remember, we have the digital foundation, then we have the digital culture, and then business process automation as the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go to the how to launch your tech startup, let's quickly go through the stage 4 with digital performance management.
Okay.
So once you have established kasi the business process automation, you have automated your process. So the question is what is it for the management or for the business owner, 'di ba?
Mm.
So the digital performance management actually is like the grand prize of the digital transformation. It is the
Okay.
end result of your efforts, no, to enable the business owners and the managers to review the performance on a real time basis, no.
Yeah.
So ano bang mga technology yung nandyan? Yung may tinatawag kasi na BI or business intelligence.
Mm.
These are the tools that you can use to customize your executive dashboard.
Yeah.
Executive dashboard kasi is like at one glance you can see the performance of each of your departments and even the entire company, like graphical representation of your sales, growth
Mm.
representation of your company and your profits, no. So commonly yung ginagamit yung technologies nga yung tinatawag na business intelligence or BI.
Yeah.
uh, the BI tools, the top BI tools in the market, meron tayong Microsoft Power BPI, meron tayong SAP Analytics, we have the Teamco Jaspersoft, Oracle Analytics, and whatnot. So yung mga yon, meron pang ClickView. So those are the technologies that people can use to
Mm-hmm.
have that business intelligence platform. And then another technology kasi, as we all know, we call it the AI or artificial intelligence, no? So on the
Yeah.
other hand, this is another branch of digital technology, that tries to replicate yung human intelligence by performing
Mm-hmm.
tasks. No? So, like for example, yung analysis of your financials and performance, um, you can deploy an AI platform that the analysis itself will be done by the technology or the
Right.
computer. No?
Is AI something that's just been recent? Like it's
The
only
concept of AI has
recent.
been here for quite a while now. I actually remember during college, is one of our thesis is the AI, artificial intelligence. May tinatawag
Mm,
na what do you call that? Fuzzy logic, neural networks.
yeah.
Those are the core concepts or
Yeah.
algorithms in creating an AI. No?
Mm-hmm.
Pero yung practical application right now na available is yung mga voice recognition such as yung mga
Yeah.
Siri, Google Assistant, of course yung auto drive ni Tesla, those are
Mm,
AI based technologies, no.
yeah.
For small businesses, I'm sure you have experienced online chat or chatbots
Yeah.
with some of the stores, no. Some of them kasi ang sumasagot doon is chatbots, not necessarily
The
the
automatic
person. Yes,
messages.
so then you are
Yeah.
given an option. If this is your response, this will be the automatic
Mm-hmm.
response, something like that. But yung mga tinatawag na FAQ or frequently asked questions, one concept kasi ng AI is yung knowledge base, no?
Mm-hmm.
Tinatawag na machine learning as the machine grows the knowledge, no? Kakaroon siya ng knowledge base,
Yeah.
mas nagiging accurate or mas nagiging dependable yung AI platform. Like for example, 5 years ago or so, 'di ba si Siri or Google Assistant, if you ask questions, sometimes most of the time they interpret it incorrectly, 'di ba?
Yeah. They have a different answer for it.
Yeah, but now they are getting more accurate. If you say
Mm-hmm.
something, mas accurate na yung understanding nila, no. So yon, as you can see, the product gets more mature as time
Right.
goes because their knowledge or they are learning by themselves, no. So yon, so those are examples of the next stage of digital transformation for your business, being able to
Right.
apply business intelligence technologies at the same time AI.
When's the best way in, or what's the best time in your business for you to be able to acquire these kind of
Right.
technological advancements?
Yeah, based on the series that we have discussed, diba? There are four stages. So
Yeah.
you have
So
the
this is the most,
foundation, you have
yeah, the
the
recent.
people, and then we have the business process automation. So once you have established the business process automation, you already can capture automatically the data. Then the next step, which is the stage four, is to employ or deploy BI tools and at the same
Yeah.
time AI. Yun yung pinakang next step, di ba? And then of
Okay.
course, I'm sure you have heard ng mga blockchain technologies,
Yeah.
mga digital assets, NFTs. Those things kasi are inevitably going to be like a norm or a commodity, no? 10 years from now or 20 years from now, no? Tas meron pang ini-introduce si Facebook ngayon, the metaverse.
Yeah.
And that's another, next step. No,
Yeah.
I'm actually about to produce my thoughts on metaverse. Maybe we can discuss this
Really.
also later on in our
Okay.
episodes. No? Ayun, so that's the stage 4. And again, pinadaanan lang natin very quickly just to wrap up that stages in digital transformation. No, but if you are someone who are interested in building your own company, especially in the tech industry, like developing your own mobile app or
Mm-hmm.
developing your own mobile platform, no, or web platform. I have here like my own thoughts or a guide on how to do it from scratch. Pero a quick backstory lang. I'm not sure if you know the details on how I started the business. No? Uh, I
Probably some of it.
right. So I started to be exposed in technology back in grade school.
That's really young.
Yes, when my dad or your granddad, si Lolo Danny bought
Yeah.
us a personal computer. We call it at that time the brand is Atari 65XE personal
Mm.
computer. The thing there is that it's where as a child, diba, you want to play games, video games.
Yeah.
Right now kasi you can easily open up download an app and then play a game. But at that time, back in the 80s, this was the 80s, you have that the computer that our father bought was that it's a personal computer. We don't
Yeah.
have any games to load from a tape or a cassette. We have to type the source code of the game before we can even play the game.
Wow.
Yeah, it comes with a book of the games that we would like to play, and we have to literally encode the source code. Just copy it and then encode it in a
You were doing this in grade school.
yeah, in grade school. We don't have any idea what we are typing. We just type it just for the sake of loading the game.
Wow.
Diba?
Yeah.
So we run the game real time. So that's our first exposure in
Yeah.
programming. Kasi when it comes to software development, diba, it's more of coding and programming. No. By the
Right.
way, do you have any interest with that, with programming or coding?
Uh, I think the only time that I was ever interested in it was actually when I was talking to my cousin about it, because
Mm.
my cousin,
Paris.
which is your brother's son,
Yeah, si Paris, yeah.
is, yeah, the both of them are into that. And I remember he was
Mm.
showing me like programming stuff, and
Mm.
it looked very complicated to me. And I'm not a very techie person,
That's right.
but that was the only time I really got to learn about it.
Yeah, but I think I believe at least the basics or the high
Yeah.
level concept of because these days especially in the near future, no, talagang the trend is going to tech, the industry,
Yeah.
tech industry. If you want to create a business, even if it's not a tech business, you still need to employ or acquire technology, or
Yeah.
if not, you have to commission a programmer to do something for you. No,
Yeah.
if you
And what's
haven't,
great about it is you
mm,
have a background of programming
yeah,
even before starting a tech business. Like a
right,
lot of business owners don't have that, like a
correct.
background in programming as well.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Actually, back in when I graduated in high school, I have two options. One is to go for a Conservatory of Music course
Mm. Oh yeah, you
in
mentioned.
UST, and then as a programmer. But
Mm.
my mom, your grandmom, told me that I have to pursue the. She said there's no money in music,
No
right?
money in it.
Well, somehow it's true, but it depends still
Yeah.
on really what you're passionate about. But at that time, I opted for a more practical career. So
Mm.
I pursued computer science in AMA in Makati, and then ended up graduating in computer science. Okay, so as I was saying kanina, 'di ba, we did the coding and those things before, but I really didn't understand anything,
Yeah.
until college when I learned the different coding styles and coding basics, no.
Yeah.
So actually, I didn't know that I had the talent at the time in
Yeah.
coding. I was like, I began to see my talents when I was in college, when I found myself solving machine problems or uh, projects
Mm.
without a sweat,
Right.
without really studying. Like when we were in the computer lab with my classmates, I always finish first. I don't know why. I thought it's just a normal problem. I mean, normal quiz or project, but I didn't know that I was really excelling in that field. And my classmates
Mm.
was asking to if they can copy and save my work, no,
Yeah.
and then I
Yeah.
let them be. Okay, yes, copy it, and then that's it. But finding out that I have that talent was really a big deal. I just ignored
Mm.
it all and pursued Well, basically, I really was not academically, inclined during college. But after college, when
Yeah.
I graduated, no, I worked with a Japanese software firm. So during my tenure there, I was able to like confirm that
Mm-hmm.
I have an excellent programming skills, no? Because not only I got the job, I remember I got my job application perfect, no?
Wow.
Yeah.
So it really
Um,
came natural to you.
yeah, it's really, yeah, it came natural to me. And just like in college, like I always finish first in my assignments
Mm.
in at work, ahead of time. I remember pa nga, my seatmate was like, hey, don't speed up your task because you're gonna get a lot of tasks
Yeah.
afterwards, diba? So my interest in business naman started when, again, my seatmate, I remember his name was Danny, handed
Mm.
me a book of Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him or
That's
not
still a
that book.
book that's being read until now.
Oh
Like it's
yeah, yeah. At that time, that was like the first release of that book, no?
mm-hmm.
So it diverted my attention from work to to reading that book and being interested in
Yeah.
business. I was even invited in to attend to a multi-level marketing sales speech
Right.
because I was inspired in the concept of the rich dad poor dad, no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was saying, yung mga sessions with the multi-level marketing got me more
Mm-hmm.
motivated in doing my own business, no.
Yeah.
Until I stumbled upon a book by Mike Wilson. The title of the book is The Difference Between God and Larry Ellison.
Mm.
Larry Ellison was the founder of Oracle. I'm not sure
Okay.
if you're familiar with Oracle, no? Oracle Corporation.
You mentioned it. Yeah.
They did like a lot of contribution in the technology space, no? The
Mm-hmm.
database, the ERP, and whatnot. So when I read that book, I got super pumped to start my own company because of that book. So it
Yeah.
reminded me kasi of my dream to have my business during high school pa lang. No? So one day, back in 2001, again, when I was working in a Japanese firm, we had a
Yeah.
family reunion, with at the time, my uncle,
Mm-hmm.
Tito Manny. I'm sure you know him. Who
Yeah.
just came home from Papua New Guinea because he was an OFW there, no.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I remember that time was the horrific collapse of World Trade Center.
Yeah.
Sometime September when we had a reunion, and my uncle Manny was very enthusiastic in looking for business here in the Philippines. So it
Mm-mm.
was a perfect timing because he wanted to grow his business while my brother Dan and I were really eager to start a business. So that
Yeah.
started, the concept of developing a product, a software product for businesses.
So when you were thinking of starting a business, did you immediately think, oh, it's gonna be a tech business or a software based business?
For me,
Or did you
naturally,
have like other
yeah,
options also in mind?
yeah. For me, kasi naturally, I'm really inclined to a tech business because that's my expertise.
Yeah,
At the
right.
same time, somehow it's also my passion. In
Yeah.
coding at the time was I don't do coding now, but the conceptualization, the software, the system, software engineering, I'm
Mm.
still into it. You know,
Yeah.
so at the time, kasi my uncle, Tito Manny, was
Mm.
an accountant. So
Yeah.
he's an accountant. So at that time, we were thinking to develop an accounting software for his
Mm.
accounting firm in Papua New Guinea. So that started the idea of developing an accounting software and
Okay.
up to the ERP software that we have now, no. And what kasi at the time ang challenge kasi is that these products, the existing products in the market at that time was not really internet based.
Mm.
It's
Okay.
local based, meaning you can only access it within your office. installed in your laptop, or ano, laptop pala, wala pa masyado na, installed in your computer
Yeah.
through a network, so you can, at the time, so the internet was just on like infancy stage, no? There's
Mm.
no really a fully web-based accounting software. So doon kami pumasok sa area na yon.
Wow.
So
Okay.
the first Filipino made online internet-based accounting software.
Yeah.
And our vision at the time kasi is real-time accounting and business reports for companies with several locations. Of course, if your software is not internet-based, then it's difficult to do that, di ba? Well, from there on, things have been a roller coaster ride,
Yeah.
even up to now, especially when the pandemic hit us, no? But going back to the topic, if you are an aspiring entrepreneur who wants to launch a tech startup or develop a software products, I have here like frequently asked questions and guide on how
Okay.
to do it based on my experience. I'm not saying that these are all correct and true, but
Mm.
these are just my opinion based on my 20 years of experience in doing business. No. Okay, let's get to it. These are just practical questions that you might have in launching your tech startup. Okay,
Okay.
so number one, the first question is, what business should I develop and launch? Okay,
Yeah.
so my answer to that is that depends on your goal or your passion. It can be a business software, an online platform that solves a particular problem,
Mm-hmm.
or something that serves a particular market niche. No? Kasi when you do a
Yeah.
business, sometimes you're thinking, I want to cover all, I want to get all businesses,
Right.
regardless of the industry. So sometimes if you want to capture all, there's no unique offering for
Mm-hmm.
each market, then I don't think it's a strategic way of doing or launching a business.
Right.
Yes. You may want to build an entertainment platform or a video game or a mobile app. It depends on your passion, di ba? Like I said.
Yeah.
So I think the best tip here is to try to look for people's problem, then
Yeah.
develop
Right.
a solution, di ba? So what is the problem now that you face? Like for example, at the time, before Grab came, before Food Panda came, di ba? We don't have any
Mm.
means to order food. Merong mga food ordering pero specific for each
Mm.
brand. But now we have a centralized one, something like that. If you
So
can,
would it be good to look at it as like a problem solving thing more
mm,
than like what you actually wanna sell or build or whatever?
yeah, I think it has to be aligned with your passion. Number one.
Yeah.
Second is yes, I agree to that. It's more of based on your passion. What is the problem that you want to solve?
But are there industries like less practical than the other that can like let's say that is your passion, but it won't earn you as much as this other kind of product.
There are two types kasi of business person. One is an entrepreneur, one is a businessman, di ba? That in my opinion kasi a businessman is like aiming for profits,
Okay.
di ba? Yun namang
Yeah.
entrepreneur is more aiming of to solve a particular challenge or problem, and hopefully to profit from that, di ba?
Yeah.
Like me, di ba? Ako, I can always sell anything if I want to. I
Mm.
want to sell t-shirts. I want to sell like window blinds, something like that. Diba?
Yeah.
If I will go that route, then I can't see myself challenge in that area. Even
Yeah.
though I know that it's profitable, I'm not really, aiming for that. I'm aiming for something that is more challenging. It's like a puzzle to me how to solve this particular problem for my audience or customers, something like that.
Yeah. And doing it as like for profit, it won't really last you for a long time as well.
Exactly. Yes, that's a good point. No, because sometimes there are, not sometimes, but it's normal to have challenges in
Yeah.
business. If you're
Right.
not passionate about your business, if you're not profiting for quite a while, then and not passionate about it, then you can easily give up. No, so that's
Yes.
one aspect in doing a business.
That's good.
Yeah, but again, going back to the question, what business you should develop? my practical tip also here is that run market validations on
Mm.
every stage of your journey. Like, be present with your audience and true to your mission. Ano. Kasi
Yeah.
run validation kasi is that you don't need to build the product 100%. Just
Mm-hmm.
look for your tinatawag na MVP,
Yes.
minimum viable product. Then from there, you can already test the market. No?
Okay.
Yun. So number 2, next question is, should
Mm.
I learn programming? Diba? So as a kasi you're launching a tech product, so initially your thoughts can be, should I learn programming? Well,
Mm.
if you want to do it yourself, then it's a must. Diba?
Yeah.
If you have but practically speaking, if you can get a co-founder which is a programmer or a CTO to make your life easier, then
Mm-hmm.
that's better, diba? You have the idea, you have the
Yeah.
vision, but the execution, the development, you can get a partner. Now, if you have money, then you can hire a programmer,
Right.
diba? But it's,
Yeah.
like I said, it's always ideal to have at least a background, ano?
Yeah.
Because when you talk to programmers, then you are not really out of place when you talk about technology, programming and coding, di ba?
Yeah. And again, that's a big advantage you had because you were exposed to it very early.
That's right. Yeah.
And it wasn't something that you just came up with, that you actually experienced that part. And now you're more of overlooking
Right.
the development itself. Yeah.
And I can validate if the programmer is, for
Yeah.
example,
Right.
if the estimate of the programmer is too long, di ba? Or too
Yeah.
short, or something like that. Yeah, so third question now is, as if I want to launch a business, should I hire a consultant or a startup
Mhm.
coach? Di ba?
Okay.
My answer to that is, well, number one, find friends who are expert on that subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to develop, say, like for example, in our case, if you want to develop an accounting software, then we find, well, luckily we have an uncle who's an accountant, diba?
Yeah.
And then find an experienced accountant. If you want to solve a problem with project management, then find a good project manager.
Yeah.
So just be cautious lang din in startup coaches kasi some of them or many of them are bluffers.
Yeah.
So
Is it good to just know what area you're lacking in and get someone to help you from
yeah,
that?
I think that's the main concept. No? Yun naman ang main job as an entrepreneur is more of orchestration. You know how to
Mm.
orchestrate things, no? In all aspects in business. Diba?
Is that something you needed throughout your years of business? Like someone as a coach or a guide?
Yes. Well, ideally, if you can find somebody who's experienced, then that's
Yeah.
better, no? But
Okay.
if you are like trying to screen them, so don't engage with someone unless they have at least one successful company in his portfolio. Meron kasi,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a startup coach, pero what did you, what business do you have,
Yeah.
diba?
Right.
Sabihin, wala,
Mm.
lahat nag-fail. So, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think that's a good candidate for a coach.
Yes. Yes.
Yun. So, well, a common question to sa, you may not, you can relate to this, but question is, what programming language should I
Mm.
use? Because there are so many technologies in the market, like
Right.
programming languages, etc. Especially if you're developing a software, no. My answer to that, if you are creating a mission critical application like financial business, etc., or a bank application, I suggest to go for like we call it enterprise Java or C++,
Okay.
a more lower level development. But if
Mhm.
you prefer like it's a rapid development, tinatawag
Yeah.
na rapid application development, then go for may tinatawag na Microsoft C#.net. Sa mga web application naman or e-commerce, may tinatawag na PHP, Python, Ruby on Rails, no?
Mm.
For mobile application, may personal preference naman yung mga native Android and iOS languages. But if you are considering your budget, there are like frameworks like React or Ionic that can also
Ah.
do. No? It really doesn't matter. Like for me, any language as long as it is number one commonly used.
Okay.
Second, it has support and going yung enhancement ng language. Then I think that
Yeah.
you should be fine. Ano? Another question is what operating system should I use? Kasi operating system naman Mac o Windows, Linux, it doesn't matter, no? As long as the application you intend to develop
Yeah.
runs on that
Right.
operating
Yeah.
system, there should be no problem.
Okay.
Then, what database or tools should I use? Meron kasing MySQL, may PostgreSQL. If you don't want to pay for an enterprise license, then use those community
Mm-hmm.
versions of those software. Or use, may tinatawag din kasi na NoSQL database, Cassandra,
Yeah.
MongoDB, if your product will handle a large volume of data. No? Katulad ng mga like Facebook type of application, large volume yan eh.
Yeah.
Imagine the speed of, for example, you type a name, diba, sa billions of users, it will easily show up.
Mm.
That's there are technologies for that.
From what I'm hearing from a lot of these, it parang you're emphasizing more really on the skill or like the abilities of applying it more than the actual tools and everything. Because some people might overthink that this is better than this. And yeah.
Yeah, I think the in terms of choosing tools, no, or technologies,
Yeah.
my I think the first rule of thumb for me is that commonly used by people,
Commonly. Yeah.
like the tenure in the market, who are the companies or corporation using it, 'di ba?
Right.
How many people are using it, something like that, At least the what do you call that, the reputation of that technology is there.
Okay.
At the same time, important din yung support. There's a
Mm.
community of support, so that if you ask questions like for online threads, in
Yeah.
online in the internet,
That's true.
they can easily answer you, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
at the same time, they continuously enhance the technology, the tools, di ba? Kasi kung nag-stop na siya, then I don't think that's for a long term. Yun.
Right. Right.
Okay, so next question is that actually I'm going through lang the more of the technical side first. Then
Yeah.
after that, the business side, like launching it,
Okay.
marketing, etc. So the next question is, how do I start the development? Okay, I have a very quick framework on how I start the development. Kasi on top
Okay.
of what we have, right, the one I mentioned, like the accounting software ERP, we did
Mm-hmm.
develop a couple more of software. We had POS,
So these are
mobile
new.
application. I developed an e-wallet solution,
Mm.
hotel management, property management. We do have those
Yeah.
software, and just a common framework in developing those applications. No? Number one is to start with an outline of features, and then natawag na user stories.
Okay.
So as a user, what do I want to see in that application? Diba? For example, if you are siguro nung nag-start si Facebook, nag-usap sila, did some brainstorming, as a user of Facebook, what do I want to see? Like,
Yeah.
I want
Right.
to see how my friend is doing today. So, na-invento nila yung news feed, di ba? I want to comment, so I need a feature to comment, something like that. So, those things are done by brainstorming, no? An outline
Yeah.
of features. So, next, may tinatawag din kasi na use case. So, there are use case design in software development and in software engineering. So, draft the use case based on the features that you have listed down. Then
Right.
next, convert those outlines to detailed menu items and screens. What are the
Yeah.
detailed screens, the user interface, the user
Mm.
experience, etc. No? Then you also have to draft the database design. Again, that's a technical side. Then from there, you can choose a programming language. Diba? Yung sinabi ko kanina, you can, depende sa gusto mo, depende sa resources that you have. That's when you choose a programming platform that you want.
Yeah.
Meron din
Good.
tawag na IDE or na ginagamit ng programmers. Marami yun eh. Mga compilers, scripts. May tinatawag na Apache Ant, Maven, Grade, mga ganon. And one key thing then is before you even start the development or coding, you have to also draft your test scenarios.
So
It's
possible.
yeah, it's a form of script.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a script of how, as a user, how would I test it? For example, if you
But these
want,
are possible problems then that might come up.
right? Yes, because by by developing the test script before you do the
Mm.
development, somehow it's like designing how you want the application to behave,
Yes.
di ba?
That's true. Okay.
So, kasi ang hirap, program ka but you don't know how to test it.
Mm.
So, yon. So, there are some detailed ways of drafting your test script. Meron din namang high level lang.
Okay.
Depends on your culture, no?
Mm.
Of course, when you start the development, you have to have like a collaboration tool with co-developers. May
Yeah.
tinatawag na, meron kang Jira, you have Trello, we have
Mm-hmm.
Basecamp. There are so many tools right now to do. We have Asana to do Kanban boards, Scrum development, etc. Those are some details. No? Meron din tinatawag na test automation. So sa test
Mm.
automation is that instead of testing it manually, yung script itself will be run automatically. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you are doing the development, there's always like a temptation to to scope creep, meaning I want to add more, I want to add more. So while you already have set the initial, di ba?
Mm.
Try to avoid that, okay? Kasi may tinatawag yung, I think nabanggit ko na before, yung agile or scrum development that you set
Yeah.
milestones. And then from
Yeah.
that milestone, ito muna, you focus that. Tapos you do a retrospective to review what happened and then add the additional
Mm.
features that you want, something like that.
Okay.
So it's a complicated process, but somehow that's the
So is it like each feature you do a test on like script
yeah, each, not feature but each sprints.
prints? Okay.
Every sprint there's a test scenario, test script.
Yeah.
Then you test it before you release. Another question: should I hire a programmer?
Mm.
Diba? So as much as possible, I suggest, especially if you have limited running on a bootstrap mode or limited budget, do not hire. Try to subcontract first a
Yeah.
programmer. To me, it's a better option. Siguro hire support developers instead. Once the operations start, but the development side, try to hire at first subcontractual,
Okay.
project based. Another question: if ever I decide to hire, how should I get a programmer? Okay. So, well, dali naman tong question na to eh. It's like there are a lot of job boards in online like LinkedIn, Indeed, even Facebook,
What
Headhunt.
should you look for the most in a programmer?
We do have an exam, like practical exam. These are
Oh, you do.
yeah,
Okay.
these are the we do it remotely now, time
Mm.
based. These are the challenges or what the algorithm the you have to solve. And then
Okay.
you submit it to us in a form of kahit na text lang siya or what, something like that. Pero of course the experiences they should be there if you're hiring a senior one, Meron din kasi mga headhunters eh. They'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Pero that's more expensive, because you
Mm.
have to pay the headhunter.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question is how do I train the programmer? So I have the programmer, it's a fresh grad for example. May question din kasi may tinatawag na front-end programmers.
Mm-hmm.
Front-end programmers is more of the development of the user interface. May tinatawag na back-end
Yeah.
programmer naman, development of the core business logic of the program. Yun. So my answer to that is you can only train programmers if your budget is limited. As much as
Mm.
possible. If you have a budget naman, then hire a more experienced programmer. Diba?
Right.
Yun. So, but if your budget limited, try to hire a fresh grad and then train them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a practical way of doing it. But try not to micromanage, as I said before. No? But in any case, an experienced kasi, an independent programmer who's able to work on any project or any language, to me, it's more practical because you don't have to worry about the cost when you have a good programmer. Because sometimes a one good programmer or a great programmer is better than 20 mediocre programmers. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Really Get someone who's experienced already.
experience. I go full stack, meaning you can do everything.
Yeah.
Yun, next question, how do I design the UI, the user interface, what I see as a user? Well, there's a lot, practically speaking, there's a lot of templates naman. Even in
Mm-mm.
Canva, di ba? Those online, there are a lot of resources that you can get as a
Yeah.
template. Then just tweak the color, di ba? Tweak the font if you want, if you find it good, then good. Ano? Pero if you have a budget naman, you can hire a UI UX designer. So there's also people you can hire in Fiverr.com
Yeah.
to hire for UI UX. It's not really expensive, ano. Uh, ayun, so those things are can be considered. Another question is if I have a team of programmers, should I uh, allow them to work overtime and overnight?
It's a good
Just
question.
yeah, because programmers at times are work better at night, Ayan. But to me, I still wanted to practice 40-hour work week, regular
Yeah.
working hours. I suggest just work overtime if you have backlogs from previous sprints or if you have,
Right.
urgent matters. But in as much as possible, I do not recommend, especially working overnight. You know,
Yeah.
up to the next day. I experienced that before back when we were starting. I work up to 8 a.m. and literally after that work at 8 a.m. I didn't find any sleep. No,
Oh my
there's
gosh.
literally no sound coming out from my mouth. That's the first time I experienced that. First and only time I experienced that is that I was trying to tell something and there's no voice, no sound
Nothing.
coming out from my
Because
mouth.
you had no sleep.
I had no sleep. Yeah,
It's also a culture thing that you can build in your business. So
yeah.
they can feel the rhythms of not working that late.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's really
I
good.
really don't recommend
You
that
establish
kasi
that. Yeah.
you may be productive at that day because you work for the entire day 24 hours,
Mm.
but the next
Yeah.
day you won't be able to do anything already because
Yeah.
you're tired. So I
It
don't
can
see
be
the
so
practical.
easy to burn out also if you continue to do that.
Yes, exactly, and it will demoralize your people as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually skipping some of my thoughts here, but the next question probably on the commercial side is that how do I market my startup?
Mm.
So once I built my MVP, my minimum viable product, what's the next step?
Yeah.
So for me, before marketing your startup, make sure you have defined your customer journey.
It's good.
Like how will the customer acquire your product? What will be the
Mm-hmm.
support? What will be the delivery fulfillment if
Yes.
applicable? Like for example, if your business to business applications is like ours, there's like, is there a training for the users?
Mm.
Is there a video tutorial? Something like that. But to me, when you start to introduce your product, start it with your friends
Yeah.
and colleagues or classmates. Then, of course, if they have criticized it and may mga bad reviews, then try to improve it first.
Did
Accept
you first
those.
do that when you launch your business?
I think so. Yes, I think one of our customers was Tito
Your
Manny's
friend.
friend.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an accounting firm. Okay,
Mm.
at that time it was also a startup,
Yeah.
but they are still our customer up to now for
Wow.
the past
That's
20
great.
years, and they are still also alive. And then they
That's
have
good.
about more than hundreds of clients, their clients using our software, no?
It's great.
As in hundreds, yes, if not thousands, no? I lost count already. They're still paying us on a monthly basis to use our
Wow.
product. Yeah, to be honest, if I don't work at all, I still have I don't work at all, I still get a lot of
You
uh,
still have from them. Yeah.
yes, I mean, not only them, with our paying, like tinatawag doon, recurring revenue from our different customers, no.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
good.
but I won't do that. I still
Yeah, I
have to
know.
work. Okay,
You'd want to work.
so after good reviews and iterations from your friends, then you can start your
Mhm.
digital marketing.
Okay.
It's like what we discussed before. Yung try to build a brand. Yung tinatawag din kasi
Mhm.
na GTM, go to marketing style, no. it's another topic. But post valuable content within your channels. Build
Yeah.
an email list, SEO, as discussed before. PPC. Then you may, I think you have to refer to our previous episode, ano, on
Yeah.
doing the startup. Marketing in general.
Mm-hmm.
Ayun. Ako naman, ang key lang doon is consistency. Consistency of posting, etc. etc. I admit na sometimes I'm not consistent, but I make sure that I don't drop the ball.
Yeah.
Yun. So, next question is, should I get an investor? So, I have a product. How should I get an investor? Especially if sa akin pa lang isa na idea, lalo na. No? Some people, if they have an idea and they want to pitch agad to investors, I don't think that will work. No? Not right away. My answer to that is not right away. Get traction first.
Sure.
So once you have your first 100, 500 users, 1,000, then you already have a value with the prospective investors. No?
Are there investors who reach out themselves?
Yes, but especially angel investors. No, sometimes they promote. Hey, we are inviting you guys to pitch, etc., etc. So you can actually pitch it, but make sure you're ready. Meaning you have the MVP, minimum viable product. You have traction. You have existing users. Because if not, then I don't think they will even look at it unless it's really, really a unique product.
Yeah.
So, question is, how do you value it? For example, okay, I have this product, I have this traction. How would you value it? Meaning, how much would you sell it? Diba? Not necessarily 100%. May tinatawag kasi na seed round, second round of investment, third round of investment. So, yung mga ganong iterations or rounds, for each round, you revalue your company.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, for example, in our case right now, we are offering free accounting software. That's desktop accounting, di ba? So, I'm not inviting investors yet because I'm trying to build traction. Okay. So, when I get the traction, say, first 100, 1,000 users, then I will try to offer to investors, hey, I value this as, kunyari, 100 million.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what we're going to do with 100 million, marketing, etc., growth, commercialization, etc. So after, say, a year or two, then you decide naman another round. Okay, so another round, since we already we have revenue, we have profits, this much, we want to grow further. So if you want to buy some shares, we are valuing it now as 1 billion pesos na. Something like that. So, so the question there is that how much would you value your company as a startup, diba?
For investors,
Once you're ready for investors. I think one way of doing it is you have to value it minimum of 4 times of your initial investment so far. Then add up the existing customer base, future revenue, etc. For example, easily if my total expenses cost for the past since I started is 1 million pesos, diba? So you offer now to your customer, to your investor is 4 times, minimum of 4 times of it, like 4 million, something like that. It's a good measuring gauge.
Yeah.
What else?
We have more questions.
Yeah, there's a lot more, but I'm skipping some. One question here is, when should I give up?
I love that question.
Yeah. The answer to that is don't, especially if it's your passion.
Don't.
Only give up if no one wants to provide funds already or you don't know how to code. But I think I also have a framework wherein if you don't generate revenue, at least one customer in the first 2 months, then at least one customer in the first 2 months, then try to not necessarily quit. Try to tweak something.
Or change
to tweak something, the business model, the price, etc. Okay, so once you are earning revenue, kasi it doesn't equate naman na you're earning, you're getting customers, but you're profitable, di ba? It doesn't always like that. So you're earning, you are generating customers, you're generating revenue, but you're not profiting.
Okay.
Okay, I think a good measuring gauge there is that if you are not profiting within the next, say, 6 months,
Mm-hmm.
then try to do some tweaking again.
Yeah.
Diba? I always say tweaking, not necessarily quitting. Diba?
Yeah.
You try
And
to.
at the same time, there are a lot of people who doesn't value like
Mhm.
the beginnings or like how small it will start.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's about it right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot more, but probably we can. You can check out my digital transformation, a small business guide to digital transformation ebook
Mm-hmm.
in the below link, so you can digest more of your questions there, especially on the
Yeah.
technical side. I don't
Do
want to
we have
bore
other
you.
parts for this too?
I don't know. I think this is it. This is it for now.
Okay.
Because some of them I don't want to bore you with the technical details. But if you are
Yeah.
someone again who's a programmer or a tech savvy person, then you can check out my ebook.
Right.
The below link, so you can digest it further. Yon. So that is it for now. My for the next episode, we'll see what else is there. But there's a lot more
Yeah.
topics about this niche, the digital transformation. We will surprise you, whatever it is. No?
That's good. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If it's your first time coming by on our podcast, don't forget to subscribe if you're on our YouTube channel and even in our audio podcast. We'd love to have you more because we're gonna have more content in the future. So comment down below as well any other questions or suggestions that you will have. But until then, see you on our next episode.
DX your life and business. Have a great day.